Before the fire went cold, when crocodiles still sang to the stars and the trees whispered to those who could listen, there was a land untouched by time. This land, known by many names but remembered in all tongues as Nzarira, lay between the red dunes of the Sahara and the misted peaks of Kilimanjaro. In Nzarira, every river knew your name before your mother did, and the spirits walked freely among mortals, guarding, guiding, and punishing as they saw fit. It was in this land, where baobab trees bore witness to the secret songs of night, that two hearts beat where none should. In the village of Umwenu, two tribes lived side by side yet remained divided as day and night. The Ebenu, keepers of the earth and stone, shaped clay and guarded the sacred caves. The Nyamba, riders of wind and storm, tamed lightning and whispered to clouds. Generations passed, a war of betrayal had turned kin into enemies, and from that day, a law was etched in spirit and stone: blood of the Ebenu must never mix with the breath of the Nyamba. But the heart, that foolish drum, knows no borders. Lemba, daughter of the Ebenu chief, was as graceful as the river reeds that bowed in dance with the current. Her laughter made elders pause, and her wisdom, rare in one so young, earned her whispers of being the chosen ear of the ancestors. Yet, it was not her lineage that stirred the storm. Kaino, son of the Nyamba rain priest, was said to have been born during a thunder duel between two sky gods. His presence carried the charge of distant storms, his voice low like the roll of thunder before it cracks the earth. When he sang to the winds, they listened. When he dreamed, the rain changed its path. They met not in the market or under the watchful eye of the elders, but deep in the forest where only brave feet dared tread, where spirits left offerings on tree roots, and time itself forgot to move. Their first meeting was wordless, eyes met beneath the silver hush of moonlight. And though they were taught to hate, the silence between them felt too holy to break with the noise of old grudges. As seasons turned, Lemba and Kaino's secret meetings blossomed into something dangerous and divine. They carved messages into the bark of an old irako tree, left gifts of woven grass and carved birds, and taught each other forgotten songs from both tribes. But no secret stays secret in a land where the wind is a gossip. One night, under a moon so full it looked ready to spill over, the spirit of the crossroads, known as Mzino the split-tongued, appeared to them. He wore a crown of bones and a robe made from the shadows of all who had lied under the stars. "You dance on graves," Mzino hissed, his voice both many and none. "You court fire in a land of dry grass." Lemba stepped forward, heart pounding like festival drums. "We love truly. Is that a crime in the eyes of the spirits?" Mzino's eyes glowed amber. "Love is not the crime. But what you risk, peace, legacy, prophecy, that is the fire." He gave them a choice.
If your love is true, journey to the mountain of bones and bring back the horn of truth, guarded by the ancient guardian Karuma. If you succeed, the curse that divides your tribes will be lifted. But fail, and your names will be forgotten by all. Your memories erased from fire, wind, and time.
They agreed without hesitation. Their journey took 7 suns and 7 moons. Across desert sands that burned like anger, through forests echoing with laughter that did not belong to anything alive, and across rivers whose waters whispered memories of those who drowned within them. They faced tests. In the Valley of Echoes, they were forced to relive the hatred of their ancestors, visions of bloodshed and betrayal played like a cruel drumbeat. But Lemba held Kaino's hand and whispered, "We are not them." At the Lake of Lost Names, a spirit tried to tempt them into forgetting each other for peace and comfort. "Give up your name," it cooed, "and you will never feel sorrow again." But they shouted their names into the wind and walked on. Finally, they reached Mountain Koro, a black-toothed monster of stone that spat heat and silence. At its peak sat the Horn of Truth, white as moonbone and pulsing with old magic. But coiled around it, asleep and eternal, was Nkaruma, the serpent lion. It awoke with a growl that split stones and asked but one question.
"Why do you seek what time itself has abandoned?"
Kaino, voice steady, answered, "Because we love." And love is older than time. Nkuruma stared into their souls. Then, with a hiss, it offered the horn, but only if one of them stayed behind, forever bound to the mountain. The silence that followed was louder than any war drum. Lemba stepped forward. I will stay. Kaino, take the horn back. Let the tribes heal. Let the world change. But Kaino shook his head. No. I will stay. You have always been the wiser, the braver. They will listen to you. As they argued, Mzino reappeared, laughing with all the scorn of the dead.
Love cannot be proven through sacrifice alone. The horn does not test love. It tests wisdom. You both would throw yourselves into the fire for each other, but what will you do for the world you wish to fix?
Suddenly, they understood. It wasn't about dying for love, it was about living wisely because of it. Together, they placed their hands on the horn, and it sang. A sound ancient and holy, like thunder learning to cry. When they returned to Umwenu, carrying the horn of truth, the tribes gathered to kill them. But as Kaino blew the horn, a shockwave of memory surged through the people, visions of the past, of the war, of the truth behind the betrayal. It had not been Ebenu or Nyamba who began it, but a spirit pretending to be kin to Sao Chaos. The elders wept. The trees bowed. The sky split open with rain and light. For the first time in 300 years, the two tribes shared a fire. They carved a new proverb into the oldest baobab: when wind meets earth, storms rise, but so too does rain to feed the roots. Lemba and Kaino did not become rulers or priests. Instead, they became storytellers, weavers of truth, guardians of memory. Their love became legend, not because it defied rules, but because it healed what rules had broken. And that is how it came to be, that in the land of Nzarira, two once-enemy tribes now dance together during the festival of storm and clay, beneath a sky that remembers, and around a fire that never goes cold. Moral of the story. Love that sacrifices blindly may burn itself out, but love that seeks wisdom becomes the fire that warms generations.